Rin Ha is a woman who selfishly possesses the genes for beauty and acting skill, a manic trophy collector. She feels her entire body aches, and it's so cold, like a mountain in a forest. 2 hours ago, a staff member told her it's not too late to request a body double, as accidents happen frequently here, and they haven't been able to find a single person who went missing. Rin Ha replies that she has to work hard if she wants to collect trophies this year too. After some time during the stunt, an accident happens, and she finds herself falling from a cliff into the ocean. Now, in the present time, Rin Ha thinks about how she ended up in the forest. It was clearly summer. But the weather is unusual. She questions if they are filming something. There's no way they would be filming in such a dangerous situation. Suddenly, a monster tries to attack her, and a blue flash appears, cutting off the monster's neck. Rin Ha wonders if the person approaching her is human. Her legs won't listen to her, and the person says something in a language she doesn't understand. It's not that she can't comprehend, but rather that it's her first time hearing this language. The person asks for her hand, and she decides to cooperate for now. The person explains that interjections cannot be translated and tells her to come to her senses. Rin Ha asks where this place is and who she is. The person reveals that they came from a different world, and Rin Ha isn't shocked about the idea of being transported to a different dimension. The person gives her a translating device. She inquires if many people come here, and the person replies that they find corpses and bones every year but have never seen a living person before. Rin Ha decides to stay close to him for safety, and asks if he is a knight or someone who fights monsters. The person introduces himself as Calcione Lenbird, the head of Lenbird and the Duke of the northern part of the Incline Kingdom. Rin Ha, now using the name Selena, greets him and thinks about how her real name would stand out too much. The Duke kisses her hand and welcomes her as a foreigner. Selena thinks about the kiss on the back of her hand, and the Duke's comment about her looking like a commoner but acting like a lady. She replies that there were no commoners in her world, and she is just a person. Selena then asks if he perhaps wants her to be a noble, and the Duke responds that it's because she would be more useful that way. Selena realizes he is trying to determine if the person he just saved is useful, and asks what happens if she is useless. The Duke replies that they will have to make her useful if she wants to leave this mountain alive. Selena thinks seriously about how he really is a northern duke. Then, Selena said she is really useful. She used to be praised like the morning light of the world, and she is sure she will be the same here. She will give it her all to become the one that he needs. The Duke replied that if she wants to live in his land, she has to give it her all. So, can she provide anything from her world for the development of Lenbird? Selena thought that surprisingly, it was such a common approach. If so, let's appeal first. Selena stated that she may be able to contribute to the development of culture and art. Even if it looks like this, back in her world, she is such a well-known actress that everyone knows who she is. He is especially good at acting. The Duke told her to try to act now. Selena asked what act should she perform, and the Duke replied, villainous. Selena thought that he is telling her to figure it out on her own. So let's do it. Anything is better than doing nothing. Selena said, hey, who is he to order her around? Did he think she will become his slave just because he saved her? Don't jump to conclusions by himself and mumble like that at her. Then, she thought, will he accept the act just because he is annoyed? Right, the Duke replied, pass, and then told her she will get to do more than enough roles that he wants her to act as. She will enter society and pretend to be his lover, and have death threats thrown at her. Selena thought about death threats and wondered if he is asking her to die. If she doesn't listen to him, Duke reply he definitely won't take her with him, and then she will be alone in this forest. Selena thought, but something is strange. Is it related to politics? It all means that he doesn't have anyone beside him that he can trust. In calculation, she is the only one who can do it. Then she asked if she understands. What will she get in return? The Duke replied, in return, her life. Selena told him she apologizes, and her life belongs to her in the first place. The Duke told her she will lose it soon if he doesn't save her. Selena stated that even so, it's a life and death job, and she also needs motivation to do it. she should have something in return for being loyal to him and never betraying him. The Duke replied, "That's right, since she will act as his lover, she will live in the castle. He will provide her with extra expenditures. After she finishes her work, he will give her everything she needs to settle down, and also, he will give her hope, the possibility of returning to the place where she used to live." Selena thought she can go back. The Duke told her he is not sure. But there is a way. The problem is it's a dangerous land full of monsters, and there is no record of any successful attempt other than the Great Wizard. If she succeeds in this role, even at the risk of danger, he will personally take her to the land of masters. However, there is no guarantee that she will get to go back, since they are just ordinary people and not the Great Wizard. Selena spoke that she will do her best. In the next scene, Knight stated, "Welcome, His Excellency. Is he injured?" The Duke replied, "There are no injuries. He discovered and saved her from a monster attack." The knight asked if she might be heavy, and he could carry her. The Duke didn't give her to them. Selena thought she had to say something as he was completely silent. Selena said that she didn't want to. She would prefer it if the Duke carried her personally. Then she thought she did it, but she didn't have a choice. How could she not interfere? Especially when His Grace wasn't breathing properly because he was frozen stiff. A few hours ago, Selena stated, "Please spare her." The Duke asked if it was too much. His loving gaze on Selena. She replied that she felt like she was becoming prey. Then she inquired about his smile, and when the Duke smiled, Selena spoke, saying she got it. He was excited at the thought of killing her. The Duke replied, seriously asking if he should just kill her. Selena apologized, stating she wouldn't joke around anymore. Then Selena stated how they couldn't deceive others. When he looked like he would rather kill him, she guessed there was no other way. She would seduce him. She wasn't saying she would actually do it. She was just helping him get into his role. The Duke told her he thought the fact that he just accepted it made it seem less credible. Selena replied, however, it's more credible than him falling in love with her at first sight. With that expression of his, just say okay to everything she says, especially in front of others, no matter what crazy thing she asks him to do. He has to act like he is even the slightest bit infatuated, so that it will be easier to deceive others from now on. The Duke asked, so what is she trying to say? Selena replied that this woman is his. The Duke asked if she wanted to be his slave, and Selena replied, if it's him, then she guessed so. After 1 hour, Selena wondered why he wasn't acting. In the present time, Selena thought about how she couldn't not interfere. Then she urged him to say the lie. They were about to get angry. They even did special training. The knight wondered why they were having a secret conversation. Then he asked how dare she speak to His Excellency like that. The Duke replied with a simple, yes. Selena thought he could do it, just those 3 words. Duke stated that he would carry her, and they would return to the castle. He told them to prepare. The knights wondered what on earth was happening. Had His Excellency been beaten by some kind of monster? Selena reassured him that everyone was surprised, but he did great. In the next scene, maids welcomed His Excellency. A bath and dinner had been prepared, and they asked if there was anything else he needed. Duke replied on behalf of another person. Selena stated that they should finish their planning meeting. She wondered why exactly he needed her to act as the Duke's villainous lover. Duke explained that his prospective fiancée had died, and it was rumored that she would be a villainess. Selena expressed her condolences, and Duke stated that there was no need to be sorry. It just made him angry that someone dared to touch the fiancée he chose personally. Selena thought this felt like some kind of big corporate interview, and asked how the prospective fiancé had died. Duke replied that, originally, since the north was far from the capital, few people cared for it. However, after gold mines were found, many proposals were sent there. He selected a quiet and gentle baroness, but she died the night before the engagement party in his own mansion. It was a challenge against the Lenberg dukedom, testing if someone could easily kill a person inside the mansion, accompanied by a spoken threat not to marry, unless it was with someone within their power. Since they dared threaten him, they should be prepared to give him their heads. Selena thought she would freeze to death at this point. Duke continued, saying the lady's death was concluded to be a suicide. But considering the circumstances, it couldn't be true. The scar was too deep. The lady had never wielded any knife other than cutlery. Selina asked if he had tried talking to the Baron's house. Duke replied that the investigation had already been completed, and the Baron didn't want to question it. Selina suggested he investigate separately through society, and that he needed someone who could act to blend in naturally. A maid's voice interrupted, announcing that the bath was ready, and Selina worried about her modern clothes being seen. Duke suggested she take off her clothes and enter the bath. But Selina was concerned about getting caught while undressing. Duke reassured her that it was fine, she could do whatever she wanted. Selina shouted that no one else join them, instructing everyone to go back. Duke mentioned his servants, but Selina insisted they shouldn't come in either, as she didn't want anyone else to touch his body. She urged them to return to their places. Duke stated they didn't need servants and asked them to return. Selina exclaimed that now she could wash comfortably and finally rest a little. However, she wondered how to get rid of her clothes. After some time, she said, "Now, rip those clothes," and then wondered what had just happened. Duke turned his back as she was wearing just a gown, and Selina thought he was cute. Suddenly, Duke said to be quiet. Someone was eavesdropping. Selina asked if he wasn't surprised and what he would do. Duke replied that they could either kill them or spare them, and wondered how he would kill them. She thought he was crazy, and even so, it was unpleasant when someone died. Selina suggested they find a way to deceive the eavesdroppers rather than acting sloppily in front of them. Duke stated that even if they could only hear them, it would still require some acting abilities to create a plausible situation. Selina wondered why the conversation was going that way. She told Duke that she didn't expect him to be this way, but she guessed he was a pervert. Duke asked what made him a pervert, and suddenly, Selina pushed Duke into the bathtub. She said he had seen her acting earlier, and such things should be left to professionals. Duke said she is quite amazing. How could she just act out such a shameful scenario by herself without any problems? Selina replied she is an actress, after all, so the spy is gone. Duke replied right, he probably thought there was nothing more to hear. Selina stated, is he not curious? When the maids came, the next scene, a maid was shocked. His Excellency brought a woman, and they were together in one place. On top of that, they did something so explicit. Duke asked why is she standing there? The maid replied, she apologizes, Miss Selina, she will escort her to the bathroom to help her get ready. Selina said she is gonna wear something pretty, exciting, and she will be back all prettied up. After some time, she thought, so it's finished. Selina thought gold threads, jewels, or not. These are basically cultural assets, such clothes for her. Were they ordered by the Duke to make her wear this? The maids told her, wow, she is truly beautiful, and they were a bit confused by Lady Jeanette, who said to give this to her. Selina thought if it's the previous Duchess, then it means Duke's mother. Is it all right to just give a belonging of the previous mistress to a guest like her? The next scene, Selina asked how does she look, and it suits her, Selina thought. Look at that. What is with this reaction? Is he being like that because she is wearing his mother's dress? The maid spoke, she apologizes. They must have done what they were ordered to do. Duke asked who is responsible for this, bring him here this instant. Suddenly, Selina stated, is he thinking of something else while she is here in front of him? Then she thought she understands that he is pissed off. It's understandable since she's wearing the previous owner's clothes. Selina said, didn't she become pretty wearing this? Dressing up becomes meaningless if His Grace doesn't like it. Duke replied, she is pretty. Jeanette apologized and said she ordered them to do it, as it seems that was the only dress he would never have seen. Duke replied so it was her. There is no way he would not recognize it even if he has never seen it before. Selina thought he can't just overlook it. Duke asked, are there no women's dresses within the castle? Jeanette replied, aside from the belongings of the previous Duchess, there are only the maid's clothes. Duke replied, it seems he has interfered excessively. He is always thankful for her efforts in faithfully maintaining the castle. Selena thought he is just looking this over without saying anything, even though she touched the Duchess's belongings on her own whim and is talking back to him. When Jeanette was going back, she smiled. Selena thought, why is she just smirking at her? After some time, Duke stated this is Dion, who is in charge of the Knight's Order. He is his closest friend, and he also shared the details of their plan. Selena stated then there is no need to act anymore, please take care of her from now on. Dion asked, so all she did was acting, but if they start liking his grace? Selena replied, even if she gets greedy for money, his grace is not her type at all, her acting skills are too good. Even if she changes all of a sudden, don't be too surprised. After that, Duke said he shall give her a few warnings. First, there will be a spy anytime, anywhere, just like there was in the bathroom, so be careful. Selena replied that's not a problem. She has always been watched her entire life, so a spy is fine. Second, do not act when it's just the two of them. Selena replied no. In order to come out as if he loves her naturally, they have to practice even when it's the two of them. If he has a complaint, then he should act better. There was enough of a stir that even a spy appeared. Then what would happen in high society, where he doesn't have much influence? Now that she has pointed it out, does he think he can stop now? Duke replied she is right. Selena stated, so stop with those trivial thoughts and just make a workable plan. Tell her who she should be wary of. Duke replied, there is someone he is sick and tired of. The next day, Selena asked if it's this person. Duke replied, that's right, she is quite tiring to be around. Fionel is here, so she is the first suspect. Fionel stated that His Excellency had returned to the castle. She was worried that His Excellency might be heartbroken. That's why she had come to Lenberd. Selena thought, is that the look of a person who is worried? It's the look of a person who has made up their mind to go on a date. It's only been a month since Duke's ex-fiancée was murdered. If we calculate the length of the funeral and travel time, she followed him to Lenberd right after the funeral. She must be talking about taking the empty seat next to Duke. Why exactly? It's too dangerous. It's only been a month since Duke's fiancée was murdered. Anyone who becomes Duke's fiancée might die. Despite that, she is clinging to him like this. That means she is either an idiot who doesn't think that she can be murdered, or she is the killer. As long as there is a possibility that she is the killer, Selena cannot think too lightly of her. Duke said he doesn't recall inviting her. Fionel replied that she knows. He won't be able to think of inviting anyone since he is too heartbroken, but she was prepared to become an uninvited guest to comfort His Excellency. Duke thought, run away. Fionel stated if he walks that fast, she won't be able to follow him. Duke thought that's good, but Fionel approached them. Selena thought, finally caught up to their race, this persistent lady, if they set Duke as the finish line, she would definitely be able to get gold in the Olympics. Fionel said she just has to do it like this. It's simple, Selena thought. Look at this idiot. Look at the way she is threatening her behind his back. This is medicine for that kind of person. This is called a counterattack. Then she said Selena is hungry. She wants to hurry up and get some rest. While waiting for this lady, her feet hurt. Shoes. Ouch, ouch. Then she thought her skill is the same. No, if they are looking at her, they can tell that she is doing it much better. Then Selena looked at her and did this thing. Fionel got angry. After some time, Selena asked if not all of the people in society are like this. Duke replied not all of them. Fionel is weird. Selena said that kind of aggressive personality is not common. Is she the strongest in society? Duke replied no. Even though they are not the same, she will be meeting people who are influential in very different ways. Selena stated if it's at that level, let's renegotiate the compensation. The level of adversity is higher than she thought. Duke replied sure, as much as she wants, she thought, fighting with her wits, politics, society's rules, and factions that only she doesn't know, in a disgusting fight where everyone but she is an enemy. She can only hang in there and hold it in forever, until they find the unidentified criminal. Let's not get hurt by, or die. This reminds her of her rookie days. She has to do these things again. Selena stated let her have a bite. Duke replied eat her own. Selena stated the Duke's steak looks more delicious. She has to eat well and work hard. How could she eat this huge chunk of steak? Cut it for her. Duke cut it for her. Then she said she can't eat with her hands. Right, feed it to her. Duke thought since there will be someone looking here, he has to act. That's why he is doing this. It's strange. He only used it to feed Selena. He can't even think of using it again. Selena thought, what is she supposed to do if he suddenly leaves her here, even though he doesn't know anything about dating? Then they have to think about how to properly act to learn more about the case. How can she teach dating sense to this human? After some time, Duke opened the window and asked what she was doing. Selena replied, why is her reaction like that? Doesn't this make his heart flutter? A woman who seeks out her lover and knocks on his window, and on top of that, brings him flowers. Duke said, first come inside. Selena jumped at the same time. Duke tried to get her in. Then Duke asked, she said she was going to make a good setting. Selena replied, right, since she is really good at using her body. How is it? Isn't it worth falling for an unexpected image of a lover who he thought was vulnerable? Duke asked, didn't they make a deal to not fall in love with each other? Selena replied, right, did it. She was trying to teach him to act like he is in love. Anyway, she has to stay here. Duke replied fine. She can stay here. Instead, just stay still and do nothing. Selena replied, don't worry. It's enough if she is able to help the Duke. Has she ever gotten in his way? She will sit here and read a book calmly. Duke stated, get some rest, since she has been putting in a lot of effort since this morning. Selena thought, how unusual. Then she said, don't mention it, this is just the beginning. Then at night, Selena thought she fell asleep. What time is it? Oh, the Duke's clothes. He is cute. Is it because she slept on the sofa? Her body feels stiff, she should move a bit. Selena decided to go to the training ground. She also asked Duke to teach her about this area's martial arts, since their affection can increase when they interact with their bodies. Selena asked where the Duke is right now. The maid replied he has gone to the training ground. Selena thought, what the hell, she is so disrespectful to her master's guest. Look at her manners, she is staring at her from top to bottom. Can she take this opportunity to be a villainess? Selena stated, where is the training ground? The maid was trembling while replying, across the garden near the castle. Selena thought if she is going to get scared. Why would he pick a fight? Seriously, it makes her so annoyed. The next scene, Selena thought, as expected, she is lost. Why is the garden so complicated? How can someone get lost inside the house? Fionel came and asked where she was going. Selena replied, to meet the Duke. Don't tell her she is also going to see the Duke with that look. Fionel asked what's wrong with her. She is a natural person. Selena told her if she is aiming for a natural style, then she is doing good. Fionel stated, how dare she talk like this to her? Selena replied, how dare she talk like this to her? Does she think she will be scared if Fionel screams? Then Fionel asked, is she really a noble? Selena replied, no, she is a commoner. Fionel asked if she has a lot of money. If not, does she have a powerful patron? Then know her place if she doesn't have anything. If she keeps acting like that, she really could die. Selena thought, what is she saying? She could die. Don't tell her it's Fionel. Selena might not know this. Someone is already dead. Someone as spineless as she is hanging around the Duke. Selena thought the weight of her words is different. In the middle of a deserted maze garden, she is empty-handed with no weapons, and in front of her is a murder suspect. She mustn't do anything reckless. If things go wrong, she might die. Fionel might hold a weapon in her heavy outfit. There is a big physical difference between both of them. Since the other world, she learned a bit of martial arts. She should be able to subdue a newbie like Fionel. However, there is a possibility that Fionel is not alone. What if Fionel's subordinate is hidden deep in the garden? What if she is already surrounded? The next moment, Duke came. Selena hugged him and then stated she survived. Where did he go? She was so scared. Duke asked Fionel what happened. Selena thought she survived. He is her ally. She was trembling all alone. the smell of the strong. She is relieved. Now she should slowly get hold of herself. Selena stated, Duke, she almost died. Fiona said that she would kill her if she sticks to the Duke. Then she thought she should slowly play out her last move. Selena spoke, Duke, she is so tired and cold. She was trying to find the training ground to find him, but she got lost. She was lost for quite a long time. Please hold her. Duke picked her up. Fiona asked, What about her? Duke replied, The lady should rest as well. Escort her to her room. Selena thought, second round, second